Hello guys. So, there's actually a couple updates with me. Yes, I'm still in my car, for those who have been keeping up with my video logs. Um, but hopefully I'm not going to be in my car for too much longer. Hopefully. The apartment complex, I put an application in for, they've been keeping me updated with the stuff, and they're waiting to hear back from the apartment complex I was staying at last. Uh, Basically, just proof of residence and stuff. Uh, but the downside with that is that apartment complex, like, when I was getting on there, they didn't get back to me, like, for months. But at the same time, after I put in my application and I talked to the dude, like, he ended up quitting or getting fired. I don't know the real story, but it was like one or the other. But either way, he wasn't working there. So I don't know what will happen. Um, it could take a while, it could not, but who knows? But one of my coworkers, as I'm recording the video 2 days ago, he suggested that there is a trailer court that does $300 a month, uh, lot rent included, for a rent to own. $100, basically 100 of the 300 goes to lot rent, and then the other 200 goes towards the actual trailer, and they have it set up so in 2 years I would have it fully paid off if I was doing the 300. I could pay it off more if I was doing more. But with my job, I get about somewhere in between $400 to $500 a week if I work the 10-hour shifts Monday through Friday. So, like, just with one paycheck, I would be able to pay rent and still get groceries. So, I actually am going to be going later today, probably around noon, and checking with that place. I'm waiting till noon because some business, trailer businesses, they typically, a lot of them, like the office people, men or female or whatever, they usually end up staying in the office. At least with the trailer court I was at with my mom, that's how it was. Like, the lady literally lived in the office trailer. I don't know if it's the same way. So yeah. So that's basically my living situation. So hopefully soon. Like, hopefully with me going there, they would have a place open. I only need a 1 bedroom. But I'm kind of hoping that they have like a 2 or 3 bedroom so I can get my buddies to come with me so they can get out of the apartment that they're currently in. Because there's quite a bit of drama going on there, and I'm not going to detail about it. It's not really my place, and I'm kind of tired of the drama. So, yeah. Um, Now the girl, I don't remember if I mentioned this in the last video, but uh, I think I did. I mentioned that I had a girlfriend in the last video. I think I could be wrong. Uh, I've slept since then. Uh, but a few days ago, her and I had a big fight. Of course, we were only dating, like, we weren't even dating for a month, and we already had that big of a fight. And I believe in the last video I mentioned that her and I dated before, and she was basically doing the same stuff. So her and I broke it off, and then the next day we ended up getting back together. And then fast forward, I think it's like 2 or 3 days, like I took her and 2 of the other people in the apartment to get groceries, and like her and I went and ate while they were getting groceries. Well, she got food, she didn't eat it with me, but I ate mine. But I dropped her off, and she wanted me to keep my system in the apartment that she's at. And because the guy that that kind of co-owns it or whatever, I don't know exactly. Like he got his system out of the pawn shop, so he had his, and I was originally just going to take mine back since he had his. Was my original plan. And then after I dropped her off, she asked if I could just keep my system there, and I told her fine, but she's the only one allowed to play it from now on because he has his, and they don't need to play mine. So they have entertainment. I was saying that I was trying to say it in a way not really to be disrespectful or anything like that, but I could see how it would come across as that, as well as kind of coming across as treating her as a child, which she said I was, which I can see how that would be put off as I'm treating her as a child. It wasn't my intention to do that, but that's not why we broke up afterwards. So I basically was tired of the arguing and stuff, but I told her I wanted to work on us. Like I wasn't going to break up with her, and I wanted to work on us, and that she basically just needs to be happy. If she is finding all my faults but not telling me what my faults are, how am I supposed to work on them? So, and she kind of did this before too. When I was back in my hometown, well, her and I's hometown. It's part of the reason why we kind of broke up. I mean, given she broke up with me, but still. So her and I broke up, and then last night, so we broke up 2 nights ago as of this video. Then last night, she started talking to me again, and she was pretty much begging to get me back. Which I have friends living in that apartment, the 2 people that I want to take with me. And one of them I trust a lot. And he was saying that she was calling me a whole lot of different stuff after we broke up and stuff, which I trust him and I believe him. I would be questioning him, but that after the big fight, I went to the apartment, and as I'm going up the stairs, I could hear her and Michaela, you kind of know her, brought her up, and she gave me permission and stuff to mention her in videos by name. So, but I heard them 2 talking poop about me, saying that I'm a liar and stuff, and I try not to intentionally lie. The only time I really lie is if I feel like I'm going to get yelled at more than if I told the truth. That's the only time. Like there's certain people in my family that don't know I smoke. My grandparents, to be exact. This is literally like one of the main things I smoke, but I also pack my own cigarettes. But my grandparents, they are heavily against smoking, so I don't tell them because I don't want to have that wedge between us, and I don't want them to be yelling at me like every day, hey, you should quit, blah, 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 which I mostly smoke out of several reasons. Like, first of all, I'm bored, especially living in my car, which even then, like, so I smoke because I'm bored, but I originally picked up smoking because someone who I liked basically told me that she didn't want to date coworkers, and then turns around and goes on a date with a coworker. And then one of the nights that girl and some of us other coworkers at the time, we were hanging out behind work after work, and we were drinking and drunk, and she was all over that one person that she went on a date with, but before they went on a date with. And I got really depressed, and I asked one of my friends for a cigarette, and that's when I picked it up. Which I know how I am, and I know I can stop if I actually wanted to, but which I might at some point, but it mostly depends. But I also smoke so I don't eat as much. Because if I'm bored, I eat. So I smoke so I'm not as bored, so I don't eat as much. Because although I'm not really fat, but I am overweight for my height and like muscle. So I try to eat less so I can lose a little bit of weight, so I'm not as big. So smoking can help with that, but one of the best ways to lose weight is have like a small breakfast, enough to have food in your stomach. Then for lunch, have a big lunch so you can work it off the rest of the day, and then have a smaller meal for dinner, which I think the Latino community in Mexico have that right. That's how they do it. They have like a smaller breakfast and a smaller dinner, and they have a big lunch. So I kind of am picking up on their habits, and I eat more for lunch unless I'm at work. I don't really eat when I'm at work. Not because I'm not hungry or anything, or because I don't have the money. It's like I just don't like eating when I'm at work, because if I eat too much, then I feel sick afterwards. Working, especially if it's like McDonald's and stuff. That's why I don't really eat before work too much either. If I wake up early enough, then I will get food, so it's mostly digested by the time I go to work and start working, especially in this hot weather. So yeah. So the girl and I, we are completely done, and I told her, like, if she wants to date me again, I want us to be friends first. I want us to be friends, get to know each other, because originally, like, when we broke up the first time, that was one of the arguments, is that I wasn't trying to get to know her. And I didn't know too much about her. And I even tried to use one of, like, the games I got from Cirillo's, which is kind of sexual, but not all the questions are sexual. Some of them are actually decent things to know about. And I was trying to play that game so her and I can kind of get to know each other a little bit better and stuff. And I told her it could just be regular truth or dare or whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm just trying to find ways so I could learn about her. And then you got this time. So it's weird. But I kind of seen it coming with the first fight. Well, the first big fight. And that we kind of broke it off. So yeah. I kind of prepared myself ahead of time because I figured it was coming. I was hoping it wasn't, and I was going to work, but it's like my mindset was set to protecting myself, but still trying to work on the relationship where I can. But if she doesn't inform me of my side of it, how am I supposed to? And with that big fight, it was mostly over text because I'm not, like, where she's staying, I'm not staying. I'm sleeping in my car for different reasons. I was tired of getting woken up by, like, arguing, or I was also tired for the nights that they didn't argue. They would, when I'm starting to lay down, that's when they wanted to, like, cook food and stuff. So they would turn on the kitchen light, and with me being in the living room and where the kitchen is, it would shine right in my fucking face where I was sleeping at. So I was tired of that, and I need my sleep. And being the only person that actually had a job there, I needed my sleep. So I decided to sleep out in my car so I wouldn't have that issue, so I can actually get some sleep. Now, given that means I'm in hot weather, which I'm not a huge fan of. Like, I'm sweating right now, and I haven't even really done anything today. But I'm off today and tomorrow. But in this recent week, I worked Monday through Thursday normal schedule, and then I worked last night. But Fridays are usually optional if we even work them, but occasionally they do make them mandatory. But usually, rather if I volunteer or if it's mandatory or whatever, it's usually 5 hours. And my supervisor said that it's rarely more than 5 hours. And the entire time he was working there, there's only one time that it was an actual full shift, full 10-hour shift. So, who knows? But for that day, it was because the main salt was down, is why they worked it, because they had to cut everything by hand. So that was that. And a little bit more of a work update is, so we have metal plates to go on to the wood that we put together to build trusses, right? Well, some of the plates are pretty large and they have decent weights. They go by inches with the length and width, length and width. Height is basically the thickness. But, I mean, they all have the same thickness, so it's just length and width. And they go by inches with it for how they are. But you can also tell by what size it is by the number of... So basically, the teeth in it, they all kind of go the same way. I don't know if anyone else has actually paid attention to it, but I noticed, like, say, 5x8, if you actually put it in the direction where it's like the 5 is, the 5 is up, and so it's like this. So the shorter end is going up with the 5x8. Like, all the lines for it goes the same way, and then the holes are going down, or no, the holes are going left to right, and the lines for the teeth are going up and down. And that's kind of something I picked up on, and that's how it is with all of them. you can't really tell as much if it's like a 4x4, 6x6, or an 8x8, because like they're just square, or technically a rectangle if you want to be technical, because all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. Well, either way, I was messing with a 12 by 18, if I remember correctly, 18 gauge, which I don't fully know the difference between the 18 gauge and the 20 gauge. Supposedly the 18 gauge are stronger. Supposedly. Well, the bigger the plate, the more that they tend to want to bend up. And I was pushing them together, and I ended up hurting myself. And of course, since I wasn't wearing gloves, because that day just went through a breakup, as well as it was closer to the end of the night, so I was starting to get tired, so I forgot to put on gloves. So I did get a write-up for not wearing gloves and getting hurt, and then there was a thing for it. But I'm about to reach the limit of how long my video can be. I just got the notification, so I'm going to have to get off here. But I will keep you guys updated as well as I can. But hopefully I can end up getting internet within like a week or two of me living out there. And hopefully I have self-service. So anyways, that's most of what's going on. So have a nice day, have a nice night, and I'll catch you all next time.